If you're struggling to win games in Madden 24, you're probably using the wrong coaching adjustments on offense and defense. Now, I'm Duke. I run sportsgamers.com where I help thousands of Madden players improve their games. And in today's video, I'm going to break down the best coaching adjustments you need to use on both offense and defense to make sure you're going to win as many games as possible. Looking for MUT 24 coins? EasyMut.com is the cheapest and most reliable coins on the market. Click the link in the description and use code SG for 10% off your order. Now, we recently had a big patch, and after this patch, the coaching adjustments I've been using are definitely different. So in this video, I'm going to go over the most updated coaching adjustments I've been using. I've used these adjustments to win over 20 Legend Super Bowls in a row. Now, we're going to start with offense, and if you guys like this video, make sure you comment, you subscribe, you give me a like on the video, and if you have some different coaching adjustments you've had some success with, and if you've been using different coaching adjustments to have success, hey, be sure to let me know in the comments. It's always good to get others' feedback as well. But starting with offense, as far as the deep pass catching and their intermediate pass catching, honestly guys, I keep these the same. I don't really feel like there's much of a point of changing these, because you can control whether you want to rack catch, aggressive catch, or possession catch, when you click onto your receiver. So always trying to trigger a certain catch or some sort with these adjustments, I just don't think is worth it. So I keep mine on balanced. Now, blocking, this is one that you could change, but it is a little bit risky. I personally keep it on balanced. I've had some people tell me like they use aggressive and they barely get any holding calls. I will tell you guys, from testing this myself, I ran this for about a half, and in one half I got like 2 or 3 holding calls on, 2 or 3 drives. So I was getting about a holding call a drive. Personally, I didn't feel like it was worth it at all, because I was pretty much still having the same success as far as running and passing, but I was getting called for penalties as well. So I personally would just go and keep this on balanced. There's definitely no reason why you should put it on conservative, because if you're on balanced, you're never going to get any holding calls anyways. So balance is definitely the way to go. Now, the main one I change here is ball carrier. This is really the only one that I ever move off balance. And let me explain when you want to use this on balanced, and when you want to use it on conservative, and when you want to use it on aggressive. First of all, I play on balance, I'd say like probably 90% of the time, but there are reasons and situations you want to play on either conservative or aggressive. Now, with balance, you're still going to be able to basically juke out defenders and make ball carrier moves, but you can fumble. When you put on conservative, you're basically never really going to fumble. If you put it on aggressive, you're going to fumble a lot. So what I recommend doing is, if you just run a normal offense with your running back and receivers and you don't really run at the quarterback much, play on balanced. However, if you run an offense that involves options where you're keeping it with the quarterback and you run a lot with the quarterback, definitely put it on a conservative, guys. And the reason for this is quarterbacks are going to fumble way, way, way more than running backs. I would say at least double or triple the amount of fumbles you see of a running back, you'll see of a quarterback. So if you're going to run the ball with the quarterback, you've got to be on conservative. The other situation I would put it on conservative is just if you're, winning the end of the game, you're just running the clock out, you don't want to risk the fumble that's going to give them another chance, then put it on conservative. Finally, the only time you want to play on aggressive is basically if you're at maybe like a 4th down and goal and you want to run the ball. Well, if you don't get it anyways, no big deal. So at that point, I would put it on aggressive, because if you happen to fumble, it's 4th down and goal, so it's worth the risk in that situation. But balance 90% of the time, just because I feel like this year the jukes and the ball carrier moves are so OP. You don't want to play on conservative unless you're running with the quarterback or running the clock out, because those moves are just so good. So that's pretty much all I do with offense, but defense is where we see the most changes and you see the most impact, and a lot has changed since the patch, so let's get into that now. So compared to offense and defense, I've definitely seen the most impact with my defensive coaching adjustments when they're, properly adjusted. Now, since the patch, this is actually way different, because they even took out the basically play ball and air adjustment. It's completely gone. And I've heard some rumors that they took it out because it didn't work right. But personally, I don't know about that, because before the patch, before they took it out, I put it on play ball. And I feel like on play ball, I got way more interceptions than when I didn't have it on play ball. Kind of disappointed this adjustment is gone. Hopefully they bring it back. Maybe if we get enough likes or feedback on this video, maybe EA will bring it back faster. I don't really know, but that one's completely gone. As far as the ones that are here right now, let's start with auto flip. So auto flip will basically flip your defensive play by itself to best match offensive formation. So best example of this is if you're playing someone that runs like a gun bunch or gun trips where they have three receivers on one side of the field. If you're running like a nickel formation, they're always going to make sure that the 3 DB, the nickelback side of the formation, is on the 3 receiver side. So personally, I like having this on 90+% of the time. The only time I will turn it off is if I have a specific blitz I'm running that just works better, either flipped or non-flipped. So if I have a blitz that only really works one way or works better one way, then I'll turn it off so I can just make sure the blitz is always coming the right way. But other than that, you want to keep it on, all right? So auto alignment. It's another one that 90% of the time I will put on base, but sometimes depending upon defense I'm running, I will change it. I just think in general with most defenses, base is better because with base, you're basically hiding coverage tells. If you have it on default, honestly, a smart offense can see if you're in, cover 0, man, zone, single high cover 3, 2 deep safeties. There's a lot of tells when you're on default that a smart offensive player can pick up on. But when you're on base, you hide all those tells because your defense aligns the same way every time, regardless of what formation the offense is in or even, what defensive play you pick. So you hide your tells, and I think it is better if you're blitzing slot corners because the slot corners will always line up in the same spot. Now, again, there are some exceptions because if I know I'm just going to play flat out man coverage every play and I just don't care, right? I know I'm playing man. They know I'm playing man. Who cares? Like, yes, you want it on default because default is better for making sure your man coverage is aligned properly. But other than that, I like it on base most of the time unless it's that exception. Now, cornerback matchups, you can either do it balanced by overall, speed, height, route running, etc. I would say that the best way to utilize this, if you're not going to just use flat out balance, is by speed. So say you're playing a team that has like some speed mismatches. You obviously, this year and every year, speed with receivers and corners is important because you just don't want to get beat flat out by speed. So if you're playing a team that has some really fast receivers and maybe you need to match up your fastest corners on them, I would go by speed. But other than that, if that's not an issue, I would just leave it on balance, to be quite honest with you. Now, option, this is one that I always put on conservative, and you need to do this as well. If you don't put it on conservative, you're just going to give up free run lanes to the quarterback if they do run an option play. This, by putting it on conservative, will take away the quarterback, and then you can kind of just defend the running back option yourself and just turn it into a regular run play and not even really an option. It's the best way to do it by far. Now, as far as strip ball and tackling, these, again, are kind of up for debate. I've seen people just love playing on aggressive. I personally don't like that. I've played on aggressive, and yes, I will admit, I will get the random fumble, but also I will get a lot of broken tackles. I've even seen penalties. Again, to me, the risk reward is not there. I like it on balance. To me, I don't feel like there's any point of being on conservative because you can just conservative tackle yourself if you really want. But, I feel like having on balance, you still get fumbles. I don't feel like the amount of fumbles you get on aggressive is worth all the missed tackles, broken tackles, potentially even penalties. So these two I keep on balance. Now, the zone drops and the zone coverage match setting, this is the biggest difference after the patch. I don't think a lot of people really realize how many match defenses there are. So first off, I pretty much most of the time put my zone coverage setting on match because there's tricks you can do having this match on even when you're not technically playing a match play. But most people think that really the only matching defense is just cover 4 quarters, right? That's what a lot of people think, but that's not true. Honestly, I would say a ton of different plays actually have matching rules in them that most people don't even know about. For example, you guys can see here, if you look at the play overload 3 seam, if you look at the play art, notice how those two flat defenders that are pinkish, light pink, light purple, those are actually matching principles. And you can tell the difference of looking at the play art because then if you look at just cover 3 sky, you'll see that those flat defenders, they're dark purple. So dark purple flat zones, they don't match. But the light purple ones, they do. And then a play the cover 4 quarters and then where's it at here? I just passed it up a second ago. The cover 4 quarters and yeah, the cover 9 show too. Again, you guys see there's that light purple zone. Another difference is the flats, like the blue flats. You'll see on a play like Tampa 2, cloud flats, they don't match. However, a play like cover 6 with a soft squat, or any play that has a soft squat, such as even like a cover 2 blitz, for example, those zones, they do match. So even like a play like this, DB Sting 2 buzz, or cover 2 sink with soft squats, those zones actually match. So if you guys see here, I'm going to just come out and play so you guys can see the play art. You'll see like these soft squats, they're going to match. Even specific hook zones, they can match too. So honestly, I always just keep my match setting on because there's just a lot more matching than you guys than most people really realize, to be honest with you. Now, as far as zone drops go, so typically speaking, if you are gonna play match, you need your zone drops off, so your matching rules apply. However, there is a trick that allows you to play match and zone drop at the same time. That's in my latest defensive guide on sportsgamers.com. If you want to check that out, become a VIP member. The link is in the comments and the description. You get access to all of my tips and game plans all year long. And if you use coupon code Duke, you'll get 10% off your order. So if you're really trying to win more games, that's where you need to be. However, just strictly for the more basic, easy, method of doing this, if you want match on, you need your zone drops off. But if you want to use zone drops, I would say the best zone drops to use are going to be 30 for your flats, 5 for your curl flats, and 10 for your hooks. The reason why I say this is if you have these zone drops, 30 flats, 5 curl flats, and 10 hooks, you can use flats to take away the deep sidelines for like corners and crossers, curl flats to take away quick flats like running backs out of the backfield, etc. And then you can adjust your hooks even more, like 10. That'll take away like, kind of dig routes. You could put on 5 to take away those shorter routes over the middle. You could even put it on 15 if you want to drop back further. But this is kind of just my starting point, and obviously throughout the game, depending upon my opponent, I will adjust it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. Until next time, it's your boy Duke, and I'm out of here.